What's up, my Guitkit family? You feeling good? I hope you're feeling good, man. How's your heart feeling? Feel good? I hope so, man. My heart's feeling a bit better now, man, because I finally have filled a longing that I've had for a very, very long time. This longing I've had since the year 1979, man. Now, this was the year I was already huge into the Muppets, man. I was a Sesame Street, of course. I was, brought up in an early first generation of Sesame Street. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, the Muppet Show came on, Channel 2. That fucking blew my mind, man. The late 70s. You know what I'm saying, man? Blew my mind, man. So, my mother in 1979, man, there was a showing at the Neptune Library upstairs, next to the Children's Library, on the other side by the elevator, man. There's like a community room, and there's a showing of the Muppet movie there, man. 1979. I believe it was August of 1979. And we were there, and it blew my mind, man. Blew my mind. What really blew my mind was the banjo, man. That Rainbow Connection, that song, in my 3-4-year-old mind, man. It's just like, and that beginning little lick, you know what I mean, on the banjo. And I became obsessed with the banjo at my young age. And I saw my grandmother shortly after that, you know what I mean. And, you know what I mean? My mother said, oh, didn't, Uncle Joe have a banjo somewhere upstairs in the attic somewhere, you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, maybe. But the thing about my grandmother, after my grandfather passed before I was even born, you know what I mean? A lot of cousins had their eyes, you know what I mean, on stuff, and family people, church people, hunting friends, you know what I mean? Hey, I heard that Herb died, I was looking for his 10 shears, you know what I mean? My grandmother, heart of gold, you know what I mean? Oh, he'd want you to have it, She gave away a lot of stuff, over the years to, family that just came by looking for stuff, you know what I mean? We never found a banjo, ever. Yeah, I mean, ever. No idea what happened to it, man. But Uncle Joe had a banjo, you know what I mean, for the first, 5, 6, 7 years of my life, man. It was like, where was it? They're telling my grandmother's house, and she lived, you know what I mean, kind of you know what I mean, in a house that belonged to, her mother and father. I mean, the house was ancient. You know what I mean? It had several generations worth of shit in there, man. It was great, man. And anyway, man, it was never found. After she passed, through her stuff, no, never found. I got, you know what I mean, the fiddle I showed you a couple episodes ago, belonged to my great-great-great-grandfather, you know what I mean, Soren Jensen. But anyway, man, so I digress, man. The banjo was something, man, that really fucking was something I always wanted. Man, I grew out of it. I only watched the Muppets till I was 8. You know what I mean? Eventually that shit, passed. And you know what I mean? The guitar, the next thing I seen was guitar, man. Ooh. You know what I mean? So we're good. You know what I mean? I got in the string instrument. You know what I mean? I got a lot of them. I love it. I thank you very much, Kermit the Frog. Now listen to me, man. I was at the flea market recently, and I seen this older, middle-aged kind of guy. You know what I mean? Probably 50. Sitting at his table. Cut off jeans, you know what I mean? Kind of looking like Jim Henson in a way, man, with a beard and shit, you know what I mean? And he had this guitar right here, man, a guitar. It's a Banjolin, man. From about 1935, round about. Now, I don't know who made this guitar, man. I don't know how to play banjo. I don't know how to play mandolin. This is basically a little tiny banjo that's set up as a mandolin. Now, a mandolin is tuned. It's an 8, you know what I mean, string, 2 course, 4, you know what I mean, sets of 2 courses, tuned in violin tuning, you know what I'm saying, and it's sort of set up like a mandolin, out of banjo. Does that make any sense, man? This is basically made, essentially, by Waverly, made all the hardware, and there's an early Rogers head. That was actually, I picked this up at a flea market on the outskirts of Farmingdale, New Jersey. And this was actually made in Farmingdale, New Jersey. This drum head, early Rogers drum head. That's where Joe Rogers Jr. set up shop in the mid-30s, man. And that's exactly where I got it from, man. Not from him. You know what I'm saying? I'll explain. So I'm going to get it restored. I was missing some parts, man. You know what I'm saying? Waverly still exists as a subsidiary of Stu Mac. You know what I mean? But they basically are making high-end reproduction, $200 tuners, man. Out of my league, man. I usually stay away from Stu Max. It's real expensive. I like that, little Danny making the videos. That's cool. That other dude with the glasses. These are very, very, very intelligent people. Anyway, man, great luthiers, man. So we're going to get this guy playing again, man. I'm going to play a couple songs on it for you. I don't know how to play. I'm going to tune it like a mandolin. You know what I mean? Like it says, man, I got strings off the internet, 2 sets, just in case I fucking break one. You know what I'm saying, man? So we're to fucking do it up, man. I got some parts and replacement parts from the shit that's missing. I got it from a Chinese maker that I know pretty well. You know what I mean? They kind of look, because he does a lot of banjo stuff, so, you know what I mean? Hopefully they'll you know what I mean, jive along with this. I'll put down a slab and show it to you. I'll explain a couple things to you. And we'll get it back restored, man. So I'm going to flip you around, too. Man, so we finally got all the parts in. Now we're going to put this guy back together pretty much using, like, you know what I mean, cheap parts. Cheapest parts we could find to get it functional. It's all fucked up, you know what I mean? So, I just want to get it back functional. I'm not even really too sure, you know what I mean, the best way to do it. Now, it's missing one of those, I put a little tape on it so I don't lose the gear. And it's got an old John Rogers head there. Late 30s, that dates that, you know. Old Waverly. Now this is called the bell shaped tuners, because as you can see, it's kind of got that thing. You know, I mean, that went all the way through like the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Those are all brass. You know, and it's all brass fittings done. You know what I mean, by Waverly. So basically, you know what I mean, these were specialized Banjolin. You know what I mean? Specially made for the Banjolin instrument. And a lot of these, you know what I mean, bushings are kind of, you know what I mean, difficult to come by for this particular thing. So we're going to have to do some jerry rigging. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to try to fix this thing up and learn how to play mandolin and play a little song for you just this afternoon. Word is, I've never played banjolin. I've never played mandolin. I've never played banjo. I'm gonna, you know what I mean, warble you a little tune by the end of the day, man. All right. The first thing I want to do, because it's really bothering me, is replace this screw in here. Now, I'll put a piece of tape over it because I realized I probably lost this myself, because it looks like it's a fresh wound. You know what I'm saying? Got this old set of rusty tuning keys. You know what I'm saying? These guys are from the 50s, 60s maybe. To take this little brass screw out of here, because it's brass and looks right. Let's see if I can't get away with it. Alright folks, so I got good news, bad news, and I got news. Good news is it's the right thread. You know what I mean? That's what, you know, the most important, I guess, part of the whole package here is. Bad news is it's way too long. I've taken you know what I mean, one of the other screws out as a reference. You know what I'm saying, man? And basically, I mean, it's only, you know what I mean, it's only drilled out so far. You know what I mean? It'll stick up. You know what I mean? This is pretty much as far as it's drilled out. You know what I mean? Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? From my measurements. The news is it's not really brass after all. This was steel and it was just like oxidized on the top, man. Oxidizado, man. But that's okay. Because we like it. We think it's nice. And it's good enough for me. So I'm going to somehow, you know what I mean, clamp this guy down the edge of the countertop. You know what I mean? Cut him off with a Dremel. Screw him in there. And we'll see you when that's complete. So there it is. It looks great. And that's what's shining the flash on it. You know what I mean? No flash, it looks like. Hey, man, nothing happening. So what are we going to do now, man? We're missing about 5 banjo hooks off this guy. And I went to on AliExpress a couple weeks back, man, when I was talking to y'all when I first got it. And I got some banjo hooks. These are round banjo hooks. This is kind of like a semi-flat banjo hook. A little bit taller than them. And blah, blah, blah. So the whole thing came with, you know what I mean, the whole set. You know what I mean? And what I'm going to do, really, if you take a look here, I just want to illustrate one point to you about these pieces. This is the Waverly piece for the Banjolin. And this one right here is a straight, you know, regular one. Now you can see the hole's kind of in a different place. You see that? How this hole's a little higher than the other one. And that's not really going to work. So what we're going to have to do is bring it up a little bit. So we're just going to use these washers, 2 or 3 of them. You know what I mean? Till we get it to the exact height as the other one. You know what I mean? And I got a bunch of, you know, metric screws to match the screw that, you know what I mean, the thread is. You know what I mean? Because this came with its own screws right here, you see. But they're going to be too short. You know what I'm saying?
They don't even fit through this big, you know what I mean, thick thing. So, anyway, let's do it. Let's do it up. I got all kinds of little jury rig ideas. I got some spacer washers, you know what I mean. I got some, you know what I mean, all kinds of screws. So let's get these guys, you know what I mean, all on there, and I'll show you when it's all assembled. Ah. So there we go, man. Look at that. It's now got all its hooks, man. Some of them have been replaced. You know what I mean? I got a little, like I was saying, some finishing washers on there. Got some booster washers in there. You see that? But the important part is, I mean, at least to me, I mean, I'm not really, you know what I mean, educated on the banjo. They are all straight, you know what I mean? Nothing's bent in. It has a nice little tight tone. You know what I'm saying? Sounds good. So, to me, that's done. Now we're missing 2 frets here. We're missing this little guy. See? See the little guy, man? He's gone. He ran away. And this one's gone too, man. Absent father, man. You know what I mean? Fathers, be good to your son. So listen to me. I have a whole bunch of sets of different, you know what I mean, gauge frets. These are like mandolin frets, the little guys, man. It's like perfect fit, man. Perfect fit. So we're going to put one in there, cut it down to size, and put one in there and cut it down to size. And I'll see you when we're done with dirt. Piss be with you. Okay, so they're on there. I'll let it set for a good half hour now. I did a little round over on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to level the frets. Be very, very careful with this wood nut, man. I'd be crying the blues if I broke that, man. Let's just get these guys down a little bit. You know what I mean? All even, because we put 2 new frets on. We have to do a fret job, full fret job. I'm scrubbing some rosewood on the headstock too when I scrub this guy up. You know what I mean? I'll see you on the flip of the switch, man, when we're all nice and fucking greased up with mineral oil. Well, there it is. You know what I'm saying? All greased up. The fret job is really amazing, man. Just like a guitar, you just be gentle. You know what I mean? Be gentle. This is a little guy. He's a little guy. So we applied that mineral oil, steel wool. You know, we're let it set. Not too long. Keep that mineral oil off the skin. You know what I mean? Look at that big thick slab of Brazilian rosewood, man. Look at that big thick slab of it. That's back when rosewood grew on trees, people. We'll set this for a little while, about an hour. Hey! Butcher's wax on the headstock and on the fretboard. Sealed in that mineral oil. Let it set for a little while. Now we're going to put a little, very, very slight light coat on the front of that head with some mink oil. Just to, you know what I mean? Just a little tiny, tiny bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a dabble do you. Dabble do you on that mink oil, folks. I'll see you when that's through and we'll get to the end. Home stretch, folks. So here's the cheapest tailpiece I could find on the internet. I'm just going to tie it to this. You know what I mean? I got some good nylon cord. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to double it around, just tie it to here. I'm going to use each hook here for 2 strings. Got a set of strings here. You know what I'm saying? Got a, you know what I mean? This has got little notches on it already for the 4. I actually had this. I was buying, you know what I mean, back from the catalog days. Back in the, remember when I was telling you about the catalog, man? Yeah, I bought it out of catalogs. I thought I could put it on the Gretsch. You know what I mean? Because I knew the Gretsch had original. You know, this is when you identify stuff by pictures. I said, wow, it looks just like the one that's on the Gretsch. I'm going to order that. It came in. I was like, man, I mean, this is like 20 years ago, 23 years ago. Finally gets to be used, man. So let's tie this up, hook it up, figure out how to tune it. And I'll come back with some glamour shots, people. Glamour time, man. And a glamour story about glam. About an unglamorous person on his soul. There it is, people. Now, I don't know how to play one of these things. I don't know how to assemble one. I don't think about it, really. You know what I'm saying, man? Pretty much made out of Waverly parts. The Rogers head. You know what I mean? Pain in the ass to get it assembled. I actually used a wire here. You know what I'm saying? A little old and a little new. You know what I mean? Looks nice, though. You know what I'm saying? If I knew how to play it, you know what I mean, I'd be a little bit better off. So anyway, about a decade ago, you know, I always, you know, throughout the years, like to, you know, reach out to people who are heroes of mine. Now, I used to like Pete Seeger from way before, Bruce Springsteen started doing albums about him, tours and stuff. And I wrote him a letter. You know what I mean? I wrote him a letter. I asked about some recordings he made. So, some historic recordings made by, him and Vernon Dalhart, Irving Kaufman, all kinds of things. What we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Classic standards. You know what I mean? Folk songs. Then I got a call on my cell phone. Sure, I wrote him a letter. And he's like, hey, this is old Pete Seeger. I thought someone was just pulling my leg. You know what I mean? Pete Seeger? Really? And we talked for about 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? New York state number. And it was one of the highlights of, top 10. You know what I mean? Top 10 interactions with people I really, I love, man. And I sent him an index card with the letter, a self-addressed envelope, like, send me an autograph. I got a wall of heroes, And the one thing we were talking about, because I told him I live near Asbury Park, New Jersey. He's talking about the Clearwater Fest. You know what I mean? He's real proud of being involved, I guess, somehow in starting the Clearwater Fest, or, something, I don't know. And, this is what he sent me. This is an autograph that he sent me, man. You know what I'm saying? 2011. 9 years ago. You know what I mean? God bless you, Pete Seeger. I can't play like you. I can't even play like me. But I'm going to give it a try. Peace be with you, man. You know what I mean? It was the first time ever. Might be the last time ever. There it is, folks. The late 30s. Unknown Banjolin. Rogers Head. Waverly hardware. Ancient childhood fantasy fulfilled for Bobby G, man. This is for all you people that grew up within an hour drive of New York City, man. 11 Alive, man. Open up the window, listen to the grass grow. Pardon us, the garden is where we'll be. You and me, Bumblebee, one big happy family. Lots of things to play there. Why don't you stay there? Come and what you got in the grow. Hello. Come and what you got in the grow. Hello. Come and what you got in the grow. I don't know how to play it, man. I figured it out, man. Paula, Carol, wash your hands. Sherlock, wash your hands too, bro. See ya. I hope you had a real good morning.